Good morning. Welcome and thank you for tuning in to this week's segment of Long Coffee Breaks. My name is Brian Shipley. I am an account executive with the Washington Long Building Technologies. One of my main focuses at Long Building Technologies is integration solutions for building automation systems. I'm excited to be here for the next 15 minutes to discuss open system integrations. Our featured guest and partner this morning to help better understand the integration process is Nicole Conklin with Cochran Supply. Please feel free to ask any questions at any time using the chat function. We will be able to answer the questions after the feature presentation. We will stay on as long as it takes to get your questions answered. So part of this is really, this is about drivers for being able to integrate. And so, Long's core principles is being open. We were actually the second member of Niagara when it was formed. And so to make that happen, in order to do the integrations in today's technology, you need drivers. And so Nicole here is going to explain a little bit more what that means and what that looks like and what that's all about. So welcome, Nicole.
Thank you, Brian, and thank you for inviting me today. So we're going to get into what is Niagara and integration and the benefits and open standards and protocols. So briefly, what is Niagara? Niagara is a framework used to normalize different systems within a building. A building is built up of different, for lack of a better word, silos of data, whether it's fire, HVAC, lighting, energy, different systems like that, and it gives you the ability to bring them into the same platform to be able to share data and create graphical interfaces. So what is open? So open compared to proprietary systems for building is, open is a standardized protocol and available to be able to communicate with other systems within our industries and other industries as well, as being able to share data consistently with the same types of protocols through different manufacturers. So like BACnet and Modbus and LawnWorks, they all have different committees creating a standardized in what their points look like and work, and so they function from one manufacturer to another. And with the open, if you're working with manufacturers that can use these types of protocols, that is one way of being open. But just because it can do BACnet or LAN doesn't mean that the products themselves are open. The availability of the products is another thing that you need to look out for your buildings, because if you are working with a company and they're the only ones in the state that can provide any service or warranties or any types of replacements, then it's going to be hard to work with them. The schedules may be hard, or if you don't like their service, you have no one else to go to. What is system integration? I actually looked up the definition yesterday, and Wikipedia had a beautiful definition. Don't worry, I'm not going to read it to you. But in my words, systems integration is basically getting eyes on all your systems in your building and integrating all these different systems to one user interface to be able to schedule, alarm, and view and trend all of your data within the facility. What are the benefits of integration? Well, when you have all these different systems in a building, back in the day, you'd walk into a mechanical room and you'd have 6 different PCs on a table or collecting dust. And then at the same time, you had 6 different people operating those machines. And none of them worked together in the building or had software or anything to share with each other until, we started getting Niagara and being able to integrate these systems together. Now you can walk in and they can have one PC and view all of their different systems, whether it's lighting, security, elevators, HVAC, everything all into one. And, you know, with this benefit too, you don't have to do a full rip and replace of an old legacy building. You can help that end user create a budget and work with them to first integrate everything, get the eyes on the building, find out where your large failures are, and create a plan to replace the old legacy items with new open type protocols and products. And then once you're integrated and you have a building automation system, you can get remote connectivity securely, of course, and you can log in and see what's going on with your system before rolling a truck out to have all the tools you need so you don't have multiple truck rolls. Or sometimes you may be able to fix the problem with the software itself. It may not be mechanical. Well, proprietary systems can be integrated into Tritium Niagara. Excuse me. We have a full handful of old legacy systems that we've helped contractors work with. Here listed is just a handful. There are, I'm sure, plenty more out there I haven't listed. You know, and honestly, I probably could even put LawnWorks on here. It's almost a legacy older system anymore, but we have access and have helped and worked with a lot of customers that have used all of these drivers and help you with the takeoffs and creating a workout phase to get the old out and the new in. Who executes the projects? We have companies like Long. You know, you have the long-time controls and system integrators using the software and getting the data out of these buildings. And the part with integrations is sometimes you can bang your head off the wall, sometimes they are very smooth, but knowing the systems that you're working with or having some exposure to them will always make those legacy integrations better. What will the customer experience? They're going to experience freedom, the freedom of choice, the freedom of having new technology, accessing it securely, whether they're at home or in the office or however they want to work with their systems. And they're going to have the freedom of not having 10 different platforms to log in to figure out what is used to control what in the buildings anymore. You'll have it all together and then be able to see what's going on and pick and choose the control that you want to update for energy savings in the future. Oops. Sorry, I pushed a button.
This, hey, Nicole, this is, this pathway, this solution is such a good budget, you know, as far as budget friendly, and that, like you mentioned, you know, you get the front end in and on a Niagara and integrate, and you know, the nice thing about that is it can talk to all these a lot of different protocols at the same time. It can do lawn, it can do BACnet, it can do Modbus. You know, it's just amazing all the systems that you can bring in, and then, you know, as the customer, as you mentioned, can plan and budget to upgrade, they can do one section of their building at a time or all of it, because a lot of the money, the big money is spent putting in the all those in the field, and you know, and then of course once they go proprietary, some decisions made. So it's a great solution.
Absolutely. And you make a great point, having multiple protocols all through the same system, you know, whether it's the legacy protocols and using the newer BACnet and SNMP or any of the other new technologies all together seamlessly.
Well, all right. I think that about does it. Looks like there's a couple of questions. We'll probably take off air, but that's appreciate everybody being able to participate. Please join us next week for our Washington Long Security Solution Group. They're going to be doing a coffee break on access cameras and intercoms. So that should be pretty exciting. Every other week we change. If we do security one week and then we do building automation the next. And so it gives us a good chance to cover all of our offerings. So, but thanks again, and look forward to answering any questions or going forward.
Thank you for having me.